I think you'll get with this, cause this is where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you'll get with this, cause this is where it's at.
Welcome, everyone, to This Is It. I'm Corey Roy, and I am here with the crew, and we are here to talk about the show She-Hulk that has just dropped on Disney+. I'm excited about it, but as always, look, I don't know how these guys felt, but we're going to go around the horn. What's up with my man, Hollywood?
Not much, man. Chilling, man. I mean, I was excited. Was, keyword was... I mean,
okay, we'll leave it. We'll leave it as that. Okay, and as always, part of the crew, my man Phenom. What's going on, brother?
Phenom 202, DDA representative, 1/3 of This Is It Media.
yes, sir.
Yo, I got one word for this episode.
Oh boy,
Ooh, this shit was super duper. Yo, let's get into it, man. I got some thoughts, yo.
All right. So we'll go around the horn. But we'll just go ahead and do a deep dive. Let everybody know before we start. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're rocking with us for the first time, hit that bell, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep rocking with us on this series. And if you've been rocking with us all this time, welcome back. And we're going to dive into it right now. So She-Hulk, not a whole lot to say other than pretty much I really enjoyed it. I've read the comics. I'm a fan of the comics as growing up. Prior to Deadpool, the fourth wall breaking was She-Hulk. So you see that in this series. So overall, I really liked it. I thought it was a solid coming out of the gate episode. I really didn't have too many gripes with it. I do have a little bit of gripes, and we'll get into that as we continue on with this series. But I want to start off with these two. You know what I felt about it. I'm going to go to my man Ollie, and lastly, I'm going to go to Phenom. But Ollie, what were your overall thoughts of this, since you're not quite feeling this as much?
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, it was decent. I mean, it was the first episode out the gate. They had to do the little introduction, backstory, and all this and that. I mean, my whole thing is, I just don't know what it's trying to be. I mean, is it a comedy? But it's not really funny. Like, I wasn't no point was I laughing like it's not funny. It's not really serious. It's like a sitcom. I mean, this shit. Like my man, what's Stringer Bell say? You know, he's like, yo, it's a 60 degree. Is it 60 degrees?
60 degrees?
And for a while,
you talking about 6 degrees of separation?
No, a 60-degree day. He's like, yo, it's still too cold to come out and barbecue and do all this, whatever, you know. But he's like, nah. But let it get to 70. Oh, 70 niggas is coming out. Niggas gonna be like, oh, it's a little bit warm. We might go barbecue, whatever. Like, this is just a boring. It was a 60-degree episode, yo. It was like, it's all right. We out here. I mean, it's good. I mean,
okay, all right, interesting. I like that 60-degree episode. Phenom, where do you land on this?
Oh, it was trash all the way through, and I'm not gonna hold no cut cards with it, y'all. No, I'm gonna tell you why it's trash. It's trash because it's Marvel's fault. They made the episode too short. The origin story was very conduced. It was supposed to be, from what I read, it's supposed to be a comedy. I had not one chuckle. You know what I mean? The fight scene at the end with Jamila Jamil. What was the purpose of it? We had no reason. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, her and Hulk fighting, like having fisticuffs. Like, none of this stuff made sense to me, yo. I mean, like, I had high expectations because I like Tatiana Maslany, yo. I think she's a top grade actress. I mean, she should get more props for what she did in Orphan Black. She played like 7 different characters on that joint, and you believed every single person was a real person on the show. This one, I agree with Ali. I don't know what it wants to be as far as what direction is going. It just felt so jumbled and was too short. It needed to be like Hawkeye was. Hawkeye had at least like a 45, 50-minute episode to kind of get to stretch it out. So it was too much.
You know, I can't disagree with you on some of the things that you express here, you know, and mainly the fighting scene at the end with Jamila Jamil and She-Hulk in the courtroom. All right, we'll just, okay, before we jump to that, I'm going to jump to that next, but let me just tell you, I really didn't mind this episodic type show. Me personally, I thought it was great. to me, I'm already understanding what this show is going to be. And for me, it's referencing the style of the comics. The She-Hulk comics were never really serious. They weren't. They weren't serious at all. So what I was getting from this episode was a funny episode, comical. To me, it was a solid pilot episode coming right out the gate. And to me, it set the tone of what this show was going to be. If you were coming into this thing, it was going to be a serious, that is never a She-Hulk comic was never serious. It was serious maybe in the first 4 or 5 issues when she was Savage She-Hulk, but that was it. It's always been very comical since then. And I think Tatiana, I think that's her name. Let me make sure I get that right.
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, Tatiana Maslany. I think she's doing a great job as She-Hulk. I think she's charismatic. I think she's funny. I think she's witty. I think her chemistry between her and Mark Ruffalo, I think she's landing that. But let's go ahead and get to some bits of this episode.
I gotta say something, yo. The funniest thing about She-Hulk was you saying it was comical.
It is comical.
You laughed.
So Corey made you laugh.
No, you laughed. No, I just want to know, did he laugh? Did you laugh?
I did.
Let's get into it. I need to know where you laughed at. Yo.
But see, well, yeah, I'll let him rock. I'm gonna let him rock because I know what Corey. Because of course we talk outside of this. But Corey's like, it's like the comments, Just because the comments do certain things or what have you, I don't mind it being comical. Just make it funny. But just because it's like the comics, this ain't the comics. This is TV.
It didn't translate.
Like comics.
Okay,
TV
this is the kind of
two
comedy.
Different things.
Well, see, there's all different types of comedy. You have that slapstick comedy. You have that Naked Gun type. You have comedy that's Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Then you have Naked Gun comedy. Then you have comedy that's like Mel Brooks Spaceballs. And then you have comedy that's more like a sitcom like Friends or even like Ally McBeal. I felt that this was more like an Ally McBeal type comedy. It's not that comedy that's going to have you rolling over laughing like you watching.
I appreciate
Chris
witty
Rock.
comedy. It wasn't even witty comedy.
It wasn't even smart. Yeah, it wasn't even smart.
Loki had is witty comedy, and it's
Loki was more smart. Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
So y'all laugh more on Loki than this?
Yes.
Oh, I definitely laughed at Loki when he was going through the processing, like with the.
I don't know about that.
With the judge, like Loki just in general is funny to me. Like when Loki talks to people, like he is funny, and it's smart.
Don't get me wrong.
Comedy.
Yeah, Loki's funny, especially when Miss Minutes pops up on the screen and does her thing. I mean, and just Owen Wilson being Owen Wilson is funny in general. But I did enjoy. What did you guys think of the chemistry between? Or the whole scene with her and her origin story in this, her working with Mark Ruffalo, he's back. And then the whole situation with her just getting her powers and then learning how to deal with her powers and her chemistry with Mark Ruffalo. Did y'all even enjoy any of that? Did y'all see any of that chemistry or how did y'all feel about that?
That's probably the only part of the episode I liked when she was testing out her powers. He was showing her how to control them, and they was going back and forth having that little competition. I mean, that's part of the origin story that I like. As far as the spaceship coming down out of nowhere, and then we don't see why they came down. They just came down, jump, accident, and you don't see them again.
You don't see it again, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Her getting infected with his blood, and she underreacted. I should say, for somebody who just got their whole life turned upside down and turned into a Hulk. You know what I'm saying?
You think she underreacted when she was running through the woods and going like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, and I don't blame her for that. I blame Disney, Marvel for it because, like I said, this episode should have been longer. Like, it seemed like they rushed her to the processing phase. Like, I'm She-Hulk, I got infected. Oh my gosh, I flipped out. And then she's like in a chamber with buzzsaws coming at her, and then you know what I'm saying. It was kind of rushed, yo.
Now there has been a lot of buzz online about her, what they call a Mary Sue. Okay, and a Mary Sue is a situation where a female gets put in a situation, and all of a sudden she knows how to do everything great. She's an ace on everything. Yeah. So a lot of people have been talking about that. On how could she learn to control it and be so good and balance all that so fast, and her throwing the rocks, and how does she get so good so fast? So I understand some people's gripes with that. To me, I just feel like they got to speed the episode along because it's an episode. It's an episodic show like a sitcom. So that's why I see it. Ali, man, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as far as that Mary Sue shit, I really don't mind that. Honestly, I didn't mind that either. I kind of like how they explained it, as far as her, like, I'm a woman. I done dealt with cat calls motherfuckers mansplaining this and that. I know how to control my anger, which is kind of the complete opposite of what you see out. What you see out in the world, what people say out in the world is like, oh, yo, a woman's so emotional. But don't get twisted. Y'all are emotional. Fuck that. It's a TV show. But I do know y'all deal with a lot of shit. So that's probably why you're so emotional. So, but just her saying, so I really didn't mind that part. I mean, all the stuff with her and Hulk was cool. You know what I'm saying? They definitely missed a montage opportunity. I fuck with the montage.
You love the montage,
They missed the montage training opportunity. But, I mean, I'll be dead ass, yo. Like, dude is the Hulk. Like, I like the Hulk. Like,
yeah.
I don't like Smart Hulk.
What's his name? What's his name?
Smart Hulk, Professor Hulk. It's all kinds of Smart Hulk.
But I'm just saying, what's the dude that plays him? Mark
Ruffalo.
Yeah,
Mark
I mean,
Ruffalo.
he's been in some shit I like, but like him as the Hulk. I mean, it's never been like, oh, like it's some great shit. I just like him because he's the Hulk. So you know what I mean. So like, and then the Smart Hulk. All that interact. I mean, it was cool, yo. But like I said, I don't hate it. Like I'm definitely not on this dude's level. Whatever. I don't know what side you on. Well, this dude, dude with the red hat, he got a lot of hate in his heart from. That's what I'm saying. Hat, so he got a lot of
episode.
Hate, a lot of
the episode to me is not. I don't think it's trash. I mean, I could pick apart the episode. Even then, I'm getting very nitpicky. But I didn't mind her interacting with Mark Ruffalo. I thought that was great. I know a lot of people are ready to see more of that savage type Hulk because he's been this smart Hulk for about, 3, 4, 5 years in the MCU. So they're like, when are we going to get back to that crazy Hulk? But I think they're setting us up to get back to that Hulk because that ship that comes down, that ship is from Thor Ragnarok, Sakaar. That's the exact ship from Thor Ragnarok. And Thor Ragnarok sets the stage for a comic book series that I was a big fan of called Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. So I'm thinking that they're planting some seeds to get us back to that type of Hulk. That's just my personal opinion. There's some Easter eggs there with that ship coming down, but I didn't mind the montage. I mean, it was kind of sped up, but I didn't see her like taking control and beating him with everything. I know a lot of people online was really up in arms about that, but I felt that there were some things that she could do well or better than him because she is a female, but she could do better.
She one-upped him on everything, yo.
Except
he threw the
rock
in
like outer space somewhere.
Yeah. But I don't even mind her like doing that because I'm like, yo, what's the Hulk do? The Hulk ain't like motherfucking like he got some like special talent. So
he had like a meathead. He just smash Hulk
smash Hulk smash.
Right,
all she gotta do is pick up a rock and throw it, yo. That's she Hulk. So,
right. Yeah, and so that's I will say that her getting the blood was different from the comics. But I didn't mind this. I thought it was a nice way because they can't look, this is Disney Plus. They can't do it the way it is in the comics. Because in the comics, if you don't know, and I'll explain it to everybody really quick, she gets a hit put out on her. She's doing a court case against a particular person. I forget his name, but I'll just throw out a name, Balcony, but that's not who it is. But she has some evidence on him that's going to take him down in this court case, and she puts a hit out on him. So she winds up getting shot and all messed up. Pretty much is going to die in the hospital. And that's when Bruce comes and finds out that she needs a blood transfusion in order to live. And he finds out that he has the exact same match. So he gives her the transfusion. That's how she gets it in the comics. But they couldn't do that. You can't have somebody get mutilated and shot down and gunned down on Disney. So this was a nice little way of doing it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought that was fine. I thought that was fine too. I mean, but like I said, like I harken back to like Hawkeye had almost an hour episode every week. You know what I'm saying? This is dangerously teetering, in my opinion, towards like WandaVision. Not as bad as WandaVision, but WandaVision did get a lot of exposition, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like we sat through episodes of her just going through like sitcoms.
Right.
This one felt like if it was going, the direction of this episode wasn't coherent.
So you don't like the episode, because I prefer to have it in an episode rather than a long movie that looks like it's been cut up. Like sometimes you feel like, damn, that looked like it was going somewhere else and we cut it off. Go ahead, Ali.
No, as somebody who likes a lot of TV, yo, honestly, I don't mind it in this format. 30 minutes is cool, man. You can knock out a lot in 30 minutes, especially without commercials. Like, you gotta think 30 minutes back in the day was It was like
22
about
minutes.
18 minutes.
Yeah. 20. But I mean, you can knock out a lot in 30 minutes. I don't mind the short episodes, especially. I mean, they present it as a, quote unquote sitcom.
Yeah,
it is. It's like
Ally
McBeal or Legally Blonde.
But my only gripe, I laughed in Legally Blonde. Like I didn't laugh. Like that's my gripe. My gripe is if this is supposed to be a comedic type of format, like it was no comedy, and you're right. It doesn't have to go over the top slapstick, like whatever.
Right.
But it won't even, to me, like there weren't even smart jokes written there. Like what I mean, it can.
Right.
Like I just didn't think it was funny across the board.
So what about the joke in did y'all make it to the end credit scene?
Captain America.
With the Captain America joke about Captain America being a virgin. She finally finds out Captain America's not a virgin. She's like, Captain America fucks. And y'all didn't think that was funny?
That was funny.
No, I didn't. I didn't make it.
Okay. Okay.
I thought
as soon as I saw the credits, as soon as I saw the credits, I was like, I'm good.
But that's the thing. I wouldn't have saw the credits. Because they haven't been doing it early.
No, you want to hate on something, that's all you made that for. Like, I thought the episode was alright, and I was like, I'm good,
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I saw.
I did like they was playing Eve though. Who's that girl?
Who's that girl? Yeah, I like that.
I love that song.
I was like, all right, this is question knocking out as far as the music goes.
Oh, no doubt, yo. And think about it is, I'm still holding out hope that the episodes get better. Like I said, it just felt like everything was sped up to the point where stuff didn't make sense yet. And hopefully we get some explanation. Like, of course, we'll know who the villain is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the courtroom fight, she just pops in there.
Yeah.
She hulks out, hits her, and then they arrest her, and then that's it.
Now let's go ahead and get into that, because that is the one thing about this that I didn't like. Okay, so I had to make a note on it because I was like, damn, out of all the things I did like, the courtroom battle scene, I'm going to get you guys' thoughts. Right off the gate, Phoenix, you said you thought that was cut up. I agree with you. I actually have a note here. I think that courtroom battle scene was rushed and looked like there was a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor, because there's 1 minute she's about to do her, whatever that is, that court ending statement.
Her argument.
Jamil busts through the door. This happens in a span of maybe 30 seconds, actually. It's not even a full minute. She busts through the door. All of a sudden, she looked like she's wearing a cosplay costume, which I think that's purposeful. I think they'll explain that later. And she throws a table. She-Hulk catches it. And she throws the table back at her. Then all of a sudden, Jamil, or her name is called Tatiana, or something like that, does this double dragon kick out of the middle of nowhere, and then She-Hulk punches her, and she lands against the wall, and then that was it.
The flying kick and double dragon.
She did the flying. I was like, yo, that was some double dragon shit right there. But that was very short, and that was what I didn't like. I didn't like that. I thought either the battle could have been longer or just not have it at all. But the only reason I felt they did it was to show that She-Hulk needs to be known in the public eye, because in the comics, She-Hulk is known in the public. Everybody knows who She-Hulk is, and she's out in the public. And I think they tried to figure out a way to get her out in the public. So they're like, fuck it, let's just do a court battle scene. But it was very rushed. Your thoughts, Ali?
Well,
I mean, no. Well, if you don't go ahead, because I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on this. Like, man, I didn't mind it.
So you didn't mind the court battle scene? You didn't think it was too? It didn't look like it was out of the middle of nowhere, too rushed?
I mean, it was out of the middle of nowhere because I was just like, yo, who's this broad busting in? And she could at least be like, yo, he was like the dude on the stand, like, he was fucking mine or whatever. Like, he fucking the secretary. Like, I was married to him or something. Like, she just came in there and just started fighting for no reason. That was my gripe. Like, they didn't give anything. Like, okay, she didn't even have to know who She-Hulk was or whatever. She just came there.
Right.
But why did you come there? Like, she could just say a line or two. Like, you know what I mean? Like, absolutely. You owe me, motherfucker, or some shit. Like, it was just like, boom, I'm coming here to, like, wreck shit for no reason. And I was like, like, that's the only thing I was just like, yo, this is kind of out of the...
No doubt. You're right.
Like, it was just out of nowhere.
It was out of the blue. Yeah, I agree.
But I didn't mind it being as short as it was, though, because I think... Oh, my bad, But no, I didn't mind, because I think it was just, as you said, it was just more so... It was just like her doing, like, boom, boom, boom. I'm She-Hulk. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Just so other people can see that she's actually She-Hulk because she's behind it.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have been in the writer's room, yo. Because what I would have did, I would have had her bust in there, her Hulk out, and cut the episode right there. I'd have put it on a cliffhanger. And then the next one, we'll see a longer fight or some explanation as to why she's there.
That's good.
Versus her busting in and getting her ass whooped. And then she hulks back, the Hawks, I don't know what the fuck it's called, gets back to normal. And then she's like, let me finish my closing argument. Dog, you just horrified a whole group of people in there. They didn't know what was going on. And then you want to act like the status quo.
Right.
I think it would have just...
that's more so to the comedy side, though.
Yeah, that's the comedy side.
Like it's trying to be like a sitcom.
It's trying to do the comedy. Yeah.
Which I understood that. But like I said, I would have cut it when she busted in and she turned into She-Hulk. Insane. Pick up on the next one. And then I think that would have been a better ending for that episode.
I mean, I can't disagree with that, but I understand what Ollie's saying, because that's what I feel. It had to go a tad longer. You had to see her change back, because then she got herself all, put her clothes back on and says, let me finish my argument. You know, that was the comedy part of it. Like, you know,
I can see that too.
And that's something that's like the comics, you know, the comics didn't have that serious tone where it ended where, like Batman, like, you know, we're in the next Bat situation. What's going to happen next? You know, even though that Batman was campy, it never ended. It just wasn't to that serious like Hawkeye. Like Hawkeye is a serious take. So Hawkeye would end something like that where Ronan is coming in, ready to fight Hawkeye, and it cuts, you know, because it's a very much serious tone. But She-Hulk's not like that. So I can understand why it ran a little longer. So what did y'all think of the CGI of She-Hulk?
Terrible, horrible. I hate it. I think it's not good, yo. Like even like the fight scene at the end, like when she got thrown against the wall, it looks so like they ran out of money towards the end.
Come on.
You can't, Corey, you can't tell me the CGI is good.
Okay.
This shit is lackluster.
Go ahead, Ollie. I'll give you. I mean, what are your thoughts, Ollie?
I mean, I don't think it's like the worst. You know what I mean? I understand dealing with a She-Hulk, I guess, could be difficult because you're trying to still make her be like feminine and what have you. Yeah. But I just think I think I'm CGI'd out personally. Like it's been a lot of superhero movies. It's been a lot of just TV movies. It's a lot of CGI, and honestly, I mean, this isn't a knock on She-Hulk, so this is because of She-Hulk. I just think just in general, I'm kind of tired of like over CGI, and that's the only thing I kind of hate. Well, I ain't just say I hate it, but even when she was dealing with Smart Hulk, you know what I mean? It was just so much like seeing him, like I know it's not him. It looks kind of fake. I mean, they do a decent job, but it still don't look real. You know what I mean?
It look like a deep fake. It look like a deep fake.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, deep fakes. And I'm just like, man. So the CGI, the fight scene really didn't bother me because it goes by quick anyway. But it's more so the CGI with her and Hulk. I just got tired of seeing it, man, because I was just like, you know, this is like.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I don't think the CGI is great. But it's a lot better than what I saw in the trailer as far as She-Hulk goes. Now, she don't look like Princess Fiona from Shrek. I mean, thank God she didn't look that bad. But I can definitely tell the difference between her and Hulk CGI. Like they've had 10, 15 years to work on that. So you can tell they've got the texture with him, the shades of the beard. They've got that much more figured out. They're still working on She-Hulk, but I can tell it's a lot better than the trailer. If you look at the trailer and then look at this, it's a lot better. Even the transformation of her getting into She-Hulk is a lot better. But yes, it still has some work to do, but it's good enough for me that I'm like, okay, I can deal with it because to me, it's still pretty good. It's not the best, but overall, I think it's still pretty good for me.
So let me ask you this though: it's Marvel, it's Disney. They got money.
True.
They can't afford to have somebody like you, Corey, who's immersed in this universe, be like, it was okay. No, you putting this product out. It's supposed to be top of the line. Marvel has a standard. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it fell. I mean, because we watched WandaVision. The CGI on WandaVision was great.
Yeah.
We watched Loki. We watched all these shows, and all the CGI was good to me.
But see, this is what I'll tell you on the back end. I'm trying to think what I listened to. It wasn't a podcast. Well, it might have been a podcast, but they talked about like the CGI studios. Actually, right now, like all the CGI studios are overworked and underpaid. Like it's crazy how much money they get, and they've been putting them on these schedules. Boom, boom, like Marvel. But it was like because this maybe it was a podcast, but it dove deep into like all the CGI studios and shit.
Right.
Like they got them on such strict timelines, and then they be reshooting shit and sending it to them and whatever. So they'd be like, some of these Marvel movies, like shit be fucked up. Like Black Widow, like some of the scenes look fucked up. They're like, yo, we don't have no time to do this shit. And they got all this shit. We got these deadlines to meet to get paid.
Right.
Like, and if they don't meet the deadline, they don't get like certain shit. So like the CGI, I don't really hate the. I know the reasons behind it. I'll say that, yo. And if anybody, you can go Google all this shit. It's all online. They'll tell you how these studios is like. It's like crazy how they over. Like these deadlines is beyond. It's like,
you make a really good point, Ollie.
Damn.
You make a really good point because even when I look at certain movies, you can tell where they really focus the CGI at certain parts of the movie because those are the important parts of the movie. And certain parts of the movie, you can kind of tell where it's kind of janky because like, look, we'll just let that slide because that's not as important.
It ain't even about the money, and that's the reason I said that.
It's about getting it done.
Disney got a whole bunch of money, like they do, but Disney just wants the shit on this date, so.
Yeah.
Like we got it. We can only do. It's only so many hours in a day. You know what I mean? So that's why the joints be janky, yo. It's crazy.
And I'll be honest. I think that is probably one of the main reasons why the court fight scene was as short as it was because you're trying to do a fight scene with a CGI character that you're still working on. And another person, they probably could not get enough time to do it. And that's why certain scenes were cut out. And that's why I said it felt like there was a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor. And I believe that's why. I believe that's honestly why, because there's not a lot of fight. And it takes a lot of work to do a fight because every motion has to be
that's just crazy.
tweaked, you know, and fight scenes are very fast. That's why I think there was so much taken out.
Natural in that aspect.
Yeah, and
that goes back to my biggest point. Like you can tell it's rushed from the story to the CGI. Like Ali just pointed out, like there's a reason why the CGI is lackluster,
right?
Because they pushing out this product and they don't care what the product is because they know it's going to get consumed anyway. Know what I'm saying? And then they're gonna just and they're gonna take the lumps. They be like, I know it won't the best, but y'all watch the shit anyway.
Well, see, I can deal with the CGI because me personally, I think the story is good. I mean, I think it's a good story. To me, it's a solid pilot episode. I love the way it started off with her just coming right out the gate saying, yeah, I'm She-Hulk. This is how it happened. And them giving that little story between her and Mark Ruff. I really enjoyed that. I mean, I don't really have many gripes with how the episode played out as far as the story. I personally don't, because I think now that we've gotten that out the way, because a lot of the stuff in the trailer is in this first episode. So that means we have a whole lot more of this series to go. Yeah. That's why I'm not so bothered by it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with Corey on that. Like as far as the like you put it on the storyboard, honestly, like the story to me isn't the problem. I just think. Like I said, I just don't know what is.
It was the comedy for you.
If it's supposed to be a sitcom, it there's more so the writing, like the jokes won't really hit. And I mean, I knew where the jokes were. Like when they said that, I was like, oh, that's supposed to be a joke. And it wasn't like it was bad. Like I said, I didn't hate the episode. I know it probably sounds like I hate it. I didn't hate the episode. It was just like, okay, I'll check it out.
All right.
But so I ain't gonna lie. If I wasn't, if we won't be reviewing this, I ain't gonna lie. I'll give it like 2 more episodes. If it don't pick up by episode 3,
right?
If I wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, if episode 3 would be my cutoff, I'd be like, all right, yo, it's all gonna be this. I might jump off. And again, it's not because it's bad. It's just honestly, there's a lot of TV out there, so you gotta stand out.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what it is.
All right. True. So if we had to, wrap this up, because I think we pretty much talked about everything in the episode generally. The only thing I know we haven't really talked about is, which has kind of been out on her really hitting people upside the head with being woke about, the feminist movement type thing. That there's been a lot of stuff out on the internet about that. I didn't really see it in this episode. I mean, I understand.
I was about to say, like,
just the mansplaining.
Woke.
Yeah, I mean, it's there.
Mansplaining happens in real life all the time.
Yeah, no, but I think what they're saying is that it felt like they were punching us in the face with it. I didn't mind it. I mean, I didn't really get that. Yeah,
but
I didn't get that either.
I didn't get that, but that's all it is.
You just have some people out there that don't want to hear it and be like, "Oh, they're just hitting us upside the head with it."
Yeah, they're just saying woke because that's like they term, like, you know how they do. They pound that term in their head. Next thing you know,
exactly.
Like, teach your critical race theories about green people. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got they terms. Like, you can be like, it's woke. But what did she say is woke? Because she made, like, he's mansplaining. Like,
just with the cat call, like that comment you said about her.
Yeah, the comment about the cat call and all that.
I mean, all that shit's real though.
That's true.
Yeah, super real.
That's true. Yeah. So I didn't feel much of it, if at all, any.
But it said as soon as you get a woman in the lead role or something, as soon as you get a person of color in the lead
person
role,
of color, a woman,
all of a sudden it's woke. I'm like, yo, this thing.
Yeah.
Like, just because it's a person of color don't mean it's woke nothing, yo. This motherfucker over here being ignorant as hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, no, it's woke. I'm like, you changing up shit. Like,
agree. No, you hitting it head on because that's what's been happening out on the interwebs, and I'm like, yeah, y'all just trying to find something to complain about. So let's go ahead and close this review up. We've pretty much gotten pretty much everything out the way. I'm definitely enjoying it as of right now. I think it's a solid episode. If I had to rate this out of 10, I would give it like. I didn't have a whole lot I didn't hate about the episode, so I would say a 8. I would say a 8. A 8. No, I would say a 7. It's a solid episode. It's a 7. I'm going to give room to see what other stuff happens. Phenom, what do you give this? And then Ali, I'll land with you.
Like a 3.
Oh, God.
Shit is low.
Damn, yo.
Hater.
What? So, okay. Cola is not here, but we're going to give a shout out to Cola. I think you and Cola would probably give this episode a 3. So shout out to Cola. Cola thought this episode was trash too,
and I'm gonna be on with Ollie though. Like if really, I would have given this 2 or 3 episodes before I was like, I can wait to watch this down the road. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not. I mean, I gave WandaVision a 1.
Damn,
and
WandaVision deserved that shit. This don't.
And that's why I gave it a 3, yo. The 3 is a step as higher than a 1, yo.
Oh my God!
But it can do a mea culpa, yo. It has to get better. I need to see comedy or whatever superhero hijinks she's gonna get into. The action needs to pick up. It don't need to be a slow burn. How many episodes do we get? Like 8, 10, 5, 6?
I don't know yet. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Say for instance, we get.
I'm hoping we don't get 6. I'm hoping we don't get 6, but I'm not sure.
Because we got 6 with WandaVision, right?
Yeah, we've gotten 6 with all of them except I think Loki.
Yeah, but those were all hour long.
They were longer episodes.
Just 30 minutes, so. Yeah, and I just jump in. I mean, it's 30 minutes, so that's why I can't do like it's a 1, 3, the 3 and all that type shit. It's 30 minutes, so it's easily consumable. It's like boom, boom, boom. I was like, word. I'm in and I'm out.
Yeah.
Again,
so where do you land with it?
Yeah, I'm getting there. To me,
okay,
I just want to reiterate like the storyboard. If I was in the room that was pitching, they had no storyboard. I would be like, yo, the story is good. Like everything is fine, yo. It's just mid-tier writing to me right now. Right now, the writing is mid-tier, yo. So
hey, get to your ranking. I gave it a 1. Corey gave it a 7. You teetering around a 5.
I told you it's a 60-degree day, yo. It's a 6, yo. Like I don't hate it. I don't love it. I mean, I think it's like I know 5 is like average. It's like right there above 5. I mean, like it's decent. You know what I mean? I don't hate it. I don't love it, yo. It's just 60-degree day.
So guess what? Okay. If Ollie gave it a 5 or a 6,
I gave it a 6. I gave it a 3.
You gave it a 6. So they got a D- on this episode, yo. Out of 10 questions, they got 3 more questions right out of 10 than me. I'm telling you, man, it's like it was a hard watch for me, yo. I want to like this. I love her because she's such a phenomenal actress.
She's great. She's great.
But, they got to pick it up. D- is passive.
I
might not be the captain, but I'm on the boat. I might not be the captain, I'm on the boat. Yo, we floating in there. We floating ahead. Let's go.
All right. Well, that'll do it, everybody, for our review of She-Hulk. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel as we are on our road to 5K. If this is your first time watching us and you've made it this far, as I said before, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You can get more stuff from us. That's my man, Hollywood DA. That's Phenom 202. And as I say always, we'll be back at you with another review. Peace.
Peace.
Yo, man, people watch this. I might get some hate after this, but I don't care, yo.
You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you'll get with this, because this is where it's at.
Think of some things that are 3.
Lean into your Skip Bayless. So you gotta come up with some good term. Look, the next hate, if you don't hate, yo, you gotta come up with some